Alright, so now we are moving on from the heroes, and we are going to start with, obviously, the villains. I'm going to start with 3 Superman villains. These guys also happen to be 3 of my favorite villains, period. So, we'll start with Lex Luthor. This is his Justice League Unlimited season, I don't know, the last season design. So, first off, let's start with the face. It looks really good. Unfortunately, every time you look at him head on, he is looking in a different direction, which is always kind of weird. It's always just, I don't know, I never really liked that in a figure. So he's wearing a holster for his gun. You could see the tiny bit of the handle of the gun. He is wearing a very unstealthy green color with brownish olive colored gloves, which is just extremely ugly looking, and black boots. This figure's articulation is exactly what you would expect. Arms go around, head moves, legs go up. Although, tell me that doesn't look just weird. It's going in like 3 different directions. It's extremely weird looking. It's like, is my foot going down? No, wait, it's going back up. Wait, now it's going down. It's just so weird. The paint is really good in this figure. There's not really many places on the figure where there is paint, except this is literally the only place I could find it, and I really had to look. Focus. See right there, that little white patch? That's barely noticeable. So, yeah, he's definitely one of the best for paint. Now, they released this figure with a different color scheme, but the color scheme was just so ugly, so flamboyant, that I almost threw up looking at it, and I said, you know, this figure's much better. I'm just gonna stick with the one I have. And let me tell you, that was the best decision I ever made. Stay away from the other figure. Get this one. I think just recently they released a 3-pack with, I don't remember who the other 2 characters were. One of them may have been Copperhead, but I don't know. But it was Luthor in prison garb, and that was pretty cool. I was thinking about picking that up, but I figured, yeah, no, I don't want it. I'm just gonna stick with the one I have. So, that's Luthor. Pick this one up, not any of the other ones, because they kinda stink. Next we have probably my second favorite Superman villain, Brainiac. Brainiac is a really good figure, other than the fact that he can't stand up at all. His face is nice. The paint is pretty okay. Like there you can see there's some problems there. Other than that, and there's nothing really wrong with this figure. Articulation is fair. Just exactly as you'd think also. Head. Now, like I said before, he does not stand up, no matter how hard you try. Or unless he's in this position, which makes him look like he's looking down on the ground, like he just dropped some change. You know, he's just looking down there. Which is just really awkward. I mean, you know, Superman's like, look at me when I'm threatening you! Look at me! Ah! But he's just still looking down at the ground. So, no one wants a Brainiac that's looking down on the ground. And see, he already is starting to topple over again. But then, if you go like that, now he's looking down at the ground even more, and he could stand up good. But again, who wants that? And I'm sure it's the way that his legs are made, because they kind of look crooked. Like, here they are with him standing straight. One is behind him, and it's just so weird. And I'm pretty sure it's because he's top heavy too. I mean, this is pretty big. If you were to get a Brainiac figure, I would strongly recommend the Brainiac from Superman the Animated Series. He is a Farley? He is a greatly superior figure, not only in sculpt, design, but he can stand up too. And there's not too much of a height difference, so you could still have your, Justice League, Superman, fight him and everything. Yeah, so if you're gonna get a figure, if you want a Brainiac, track down this guy. He's well worth it. Now, for probably, this guy's probably tied for my favorite Superman villain with, he's probably tied with Brainiac. Parasite. I especially loved his design in Superman the Animated Series and Justice League. But again, the figure cannot stand upright unless you position him like this. So one foot is completely down and one is up. And that just looks weird. But hey, it's the only way he'll stand up, and it's not as weird looking as Brainiac. So his face. Zoom, there we go. He's kind of looking. Not so good. He still looks like, I don't know. It looks good for the design, but just not so much like in person. Like if you see it on the episode, it looks, wow, that looks pretty cool. But when you see it like this, it's not so great looking in person. His costume's really nice. There is some paint problems, like with all the figures. Other than the fact that he can't stand up well, this is a really great figure, and definitely one of the best purchases. Head moves, so do his arms, legs. If you could still find this figure, which I think they just did a re-release of him in a 1-pack, I'd probably get that one. I would definitely get that one, because possibly they fixed his feet, I don't know. But, yeah, Parasite's a really good figure. He looks great. Like, he stands out just because of the purple. But, whatever. Definitely pick all these guys up except Brainiac, unless you really want that Brainiac.